The Shell CEO gives a dire warning. Now, a dire warning doesn't sound too good, is it? Well, it's certainly not. The most important resource in the world is energy. Without energy, nothing happens. Food doesn't grow. Food doesn't transport. Of course, we don't live. And of course, if you've been paying attention to these videos, you know that energy is under attack. Not only is it under attack because we have more demand than we have supply, it's under attack because the leaders, the policymakers, are shutting down supply at a time when demand is going up. Now, without energy, we could die. I know that sounds dire, but that is exactly the warning that we're looking at. Let's take a look at see what we're talking about here. Here we can see that the Shell CEO of Shell Oil, one of the most influential people in the energy space, says that spare capacity is running very low. So again, spare capacity meaning they can't produce enough to keep up with the demands of the usage. It's running low. There's not enough to continue. So what happens in that instance? Let's take a look. It says, uncertainty in a global oil and gas markets could stay for some time as spare capacity is very low, meaning they can't produce enough to keep up with demands. He says, quote, Shell Chief Executive Officer Ben Van Beurden says, I do believe that we're going to be facing quite a bit of uncertainty in markets for some time to come, meaning this problem is not going away anytime soon. You better be prepared. I'm trying to warn you in advance. He says here, spare capacity is running very, very low. Not just very low. Very, very low means more than just very low. If we jump down here, we get a little bit more telling signs and a little bit more of the dire warning. I think it will be impossible to cover the entire pipeline gas capacity out of Russia with liquid natural gas, with LNG. So he says it will be impossible to cover what is missing out of Russia. And he goes on to say the bad part out loud here. If we are not going to take significant measures, like for instance, energy savings, maybe a certain degree of rationing, it will be problematic. Let's think about those words for a minute. If we're not going to take significant, not a little bit of measures, significant, massive steps to do what? Massive steps for what? Energy savings like rationing. So if we don't ration the use of energy, and not just a little bit, but significant rationing, it's going to be problematic. That doesn't sound good, does it? So let's think about this. So we need to ration energy significantly by a large amount. And what do we need the energy for? Well, over in Europe, where the problem is, they don't have enough energy, specifically LNG, liquefied natural gas. Of course, the LNG goes to power electricity plants. So now the electricity plants don't have what they need to create the electricity, which then means that electricity is going to go up in price and there won't be enough to go around. So that means rolling blackouts. That means people going without energy. What else? Well, natural gas also heats homes. So here we are going into the winter in Europe, which is pretty cold. And we have potentially a problem where people won't be able to heat their homes. It's a problem. It's a big problem. What else? Well, liquefied natural gas also goes into making fertilizer. We need the fertilizer to make the food, to grow the food. So if we don't have the natural gas, we don't have the fertilizer, we don't have the food. That's a problem. What else? We also need the natural gas to process food. And so if we don't have the natural gas to process food, we can't grow it and we can't process the food. That's a big problem. Now, how big of a problem is this? We can see here it's so big that Germany is considering seizing parts of a Russian gas pipeline to use in an LNG terminal. So now they want to seize a Russian pipeline. Now, tensions are already sky high with Russia. We talked about it in a video yesterday. Go back and look at it. I think it was titled, What Keeps Me Up at Night? Something like that. Maybe we can link it right here. We talked about how this war with Russia is escalating. For the first time in my life, I see potentially a real threat for nuclear war. And this is not to be a scaremonger. If you understand how things go back and watch that video, you'll understand. And does seizing Russian assets like gas pipelines, does that escalate the situation or de-escalate the situation? Just ask yourself that question. I think the answer is pretty apparent. Now we can see that analysis says that short of gas, Russia's pipeline repair has Europe worried. And because Russia turned off the gas through Nord Stream 1 for maintenance back in July, and Europe is starting to worry it won't turn it back on again, Russia cut gas flows to 40% of the pipeline's capacity, delaying equipment repairs and leaving Germany and other European states to find alternative supplies to head off. But as we heard from the Shell CEO, There is no replacement. They don't have enough spare capacity. There's no way to make up the demand. So this is mostly bad news. If you're affected by this, if you're watching this from Europe and you're affected by this, what should you be doing? Well, understand there's a problem coming. Make plans for this in advance. So what could you do? Well, if natural gas and electricity prices are going to go much higher, one, try to figure out how to get your purchasing power up. Can you save more money? Cut back on other expenses now to save more money. Can you get into transition your investments from losers into winners? From, the market's rotating from growth into things like commodities. And so can you move your money to where you'll be gaining power, right? If the price of natural gas, electricity is going up, invest into those things that are going to go up in value. Also, other things, if you're worried about electricity going out at your house or not having natural gas, what can you do about that? Can you install solar at your house? Can you get a backup generator now before everybody's trying to buy them and they're out of business or out of stock, right? Plan ahead. Understanding this allows you to plan ahead, protect your money, save more money, invest into things that are going up, plan ahead, put the solar panels on your roof, buy a generator for your house, or whatever it is that you need to do, prepare, because per the Shell CEO, this is a dire warning. He says, let's go back to his quote directly so I don't misinterpret it, significant measures of rationing. If we don't do that, it's going to be problematic. What does that mean? If we don't do this in an orderly fashion of rationing, then it's just going to go out for everybody. It's his words, not mine. It looks like it's a problem that's unavoidable. I hope you plan for it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're going to do to plan for this. Solar, generator, save more money, all of the above. Leave it a comment down below. Of course, if you're not already subscribed, please do that. Click that subscribe button so it goes out to more people. And like this video if you like it. That's what I got for you today, all right? To your success. I'm out. Since you've stayed to the end, I know you like this video, which means you're probably going to really like this video right here and this video right here.